Hi, welcome to She Spice. Tom Cruise is gay, and the fact that he chose to come out that way would be a genuine issue. Tom Cruise is getting uncovered, which is correct. One of Hollywood's greatest stars at any point is being connected to the ongoing banner kid for shame. Sean Diddy Brushes. You know whether these stars had realized that Diddy would one day become the substance of outrage. They most likely would have stayed away. Now they're getting stray only for being related to him as per gossip. And even Tom Cruise's ex Katie Holmes. It seems as though Cruz might have been a visitor at Diddy's scathing gatherings. With all that we realize now, fearless Diddy's gatherings are certainly not the place for anybody with their brains about them. An appearance at one of these could mean you're complicit in anything that obscure stuff is going down away from plain view. Even Feline Williams has previously put out alerts advising individuals to remain far away from Diddy's gatherings, since they're everything except your typical Hollywood slam, right? 'Cause P. Diddy be needing a body and you gotta let him know. No, you gotta let him know. No. I did. So what is a person of Tom Cruise's type doing at a Diddy party? We should make a plunge, clearly. Tom Cruise doesn't need to bother with a presentation. He's a Hollywood symbol. He has a privileged Palm entryway, 3 brilliant Globe grants, and selections for 4 foundation grants. His films have rounded up more than $4 billion in North America and over $11, $5 billion overall, making him quite possibly one of the greatest earning film industry stars ever. In addition, he's reliably one of the world's most generously compensated entertainers. Yet as sparkly as his profession sounds, Cruise's life has been loaded with contention. It appears like each VIP who's been connected to Diddy has some obscure stuff in their experience. Perhaps that is the reason they're companions. In any case, Cruise has had his fair share of high-profile sentiments and public conflicts, particularly established in his strict convictions. We should begin with Katie Holmes, the one apparently dropping a portion of these stunts in the domain of Hollywood's most discussed sentiments. The world success connection between Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise is right up there. Their romantic tale was brimming with terrific motions and public statements that enamored the world. He transparently, and some have said it overly energetically, pronounced his affection for new sweetheart Katie Holmes. That is the means by which I feel about it, however. Everything later became disentangled in the midst of a whirlwind of titles and hypotheses. The team first ventured into the spotlight in 2005, unveiling their underlying appearance on April 29th at the David D. Donatello Grants in Rome. The world watched in wonderment as they immediately moved from relaxed dating to a serious relationship. Cruise's family was in support of it, lauding Holmes for their development and grounded nature. She was depicted as an exceptionally full-grown young lady with a decent head on her shoulders, and the pair appeared to be profoundly enamored anyway. Their fantasy wasn't without its dull sections. By June 2012, breaks started to show in their apparently amazing exterior homes, referring to hostile contrasts as the justification for their split, and as the media mixed to sort out what turned out badly, one component continued to spring up. Scientology. You know, there's really this image book about concealment. And social and standoffish characters. And is this what you realize? Scientologist, I'm exceptionally intrigued, and, that is the point at which I turned into a Scientologist. I realized Tom Cruise's office has requested that I come to the Scientology big-name community in Los Angeles to set out on a 4-hour compressed lesson in Scientology, and what everything really revolves around. Tom Cruise's association with science is no secret. The congregation was frequently encompassed by secrecy, and discussion turned into a point of convergence in their relationship. Reports started to flow about Cruise's fixation on the religion and his longing for their girl Suri to join the congregation's Ocean Association. This branch is devoted to drenching youngsters in the congregation's convictions, with a discipline much the same as a military establishment. Individuals are scratching their heads like, how could Cruz even need his little girl in a spot? We appreciate that the congregation's teaching, which excuses customary medication for medicines endorsed by the association, is reputed to be a significant disputed matter among groups and homes. The impact of Scientology on their relationship became the dominant focal point during their guardianship fight. Surrey news sources hummed with hypotheses that Cruz's profound connections to the congregation played a huge part in Holmes's choice to look for soul care. The story painted an image of a mother dreading for her youngster's future inside the congregation's limits, so Tom Cruise entirely admitted that Katie Holmes abandoned him, mostly in light of the fact that she didn't need Siri to be in Scientology. Holmes's interests, apparently based on the congregation's practices, especially sending youthful Suri to the Ocean Association, where she would be submerged in a thorough routine of chapel lessons. Yet things took a dim turn when reports began zooming around that Tom had 247 mystery security on Katie. Following everything she might do, he even had their telephones tapped, so she needed to get a burner telephone just to call her father. Then she figured out that he was wanting to send Suri away to some indoctrinating Scientology live in school, fortunately, with the assistance of her father, who's likewise a legal counselor. Katie figured out how to get away from. We realized that her dad, at the last stage, last week came in, terminated the safety officers, terminated the, marketing specialist, and had the papers recorded and recruited the lawyers. So it would be simple to hypothesize that he was involved and the family was involved. These bits of gossip were hypotheses passing on fans to think about how much the church impacted perhaps of Hollywood's most celebrated couple, yet fans wouldn't need to consider for a really long time on the grounds that Leah Remini emerged and spilled significantly more tea in the realm of Scientology. Few have been as vocal about their encounters as Leah Remini, the entertainer. Once an individual from the congregation went from an insider to perhaps its most straightforward pundit, she shone a light on the inward activities of the association and the job of its VIP individuals, particularly Tom Cruise. Leah's obsession with science began in her life as a youngster. She was profoundly implanted in its local area for quite a long time, following its lessons and practices. Her devotion to the congregation was clear, which made her possible flight and resulting disclosures even more stunning to the public. Her relationship with Scientology was complicated, uncovering a story of dissatisfaction, revelation, and an assurance to stand up. Leah Remini educated ABC's Dan Harris regarding her 30-year relationship with Scientology, a religion Remini's mom initially acquainted her and her sister with when they were simply kids. Integral to Leah's disclosures was her viewpoint on Tom Cruise, ostensibly the most popular face of science. Over the long haul, Tom had turned into the congregation's banner kid, as well as profoundly engaged with its activities using critical impact. Leah's communications with Tom and her perceptions of his job inside the congregation gave a remarkable vantage point, as indicated by Leah. Tom had cautiously organized his picture throughout the long term, extending the persona of a considerate figure anyway. Behind this painstakingly developed exterior, she indicated controls and messages. Leah's striking assertions about Tom stretched out to the very center of science's standards. She claimed that Tom involved the congregation and its individuals for individual growth, portraying a superstar utilizing his status within a strict association for individual targets. However, in my experience, there appeared to be a ton of force. Quite possibly, her most surprising case revolved around Tom's relationship with Nicole Kidman. His ex, Leah, didn't avoid proposing that Tom utilize the congregation's assets to organize their separation because of Nicole's qualms about Scientology. As Leah opened up to the world about her experience, the world was offered an interesting insider look into the universe of Scientology. Her disclosures, especially about Tom, were met with a blend of shock, interest, and backing. Many commended her mental fortitude in standing in opposition to a strong foundation, while others scrutinized the veracity of her cases and discussed Nicole Kidman, she was Tom's subsequent spouse, and their marriage endured the longest of the full 11 years. When Nicole and Tom got married in 1990, It was an association that caught the world's creative mind. Nicole, with her ethereal excellence, and Tom, with his evident mystique, seemed like the encapsulation of a Hollywood power couple. Their romantic tale extended much further when they chose to take on the challenge of confronting the catastrophe of different unsuccessful labors. The couple embraced two youngsters, Isabella Jane in 1992 and Connor in 1995. On a superficial level, their family seemed to be one of solidarity and love anyway. In the background, the occupants of Scientology started to create a shaded area over their relationship. Tom, a dedicated individual from the congregation, was excited about bringing up their kids inside the congregation's teachings. This choice turned into a significant disputed matter between the couple, with Nicole allegedly not as willing to put resources into the congregation's lessons. As Tom dug further into the folds of Scientology, the fracture between the two augmented, prompting hypotheses and concerns. The summit of these pressures became clear in 2001 when the couple declared their choice to head out in different directions. The consequence of their split was overflowing with hypotheses, with many highlighting Scientology as a huge figure. Their separation was Nicole's affection for your adoration. What do you mean? Peter, you were hitched for quite a long time. Listen, subscribe She Spice for more videos.